Greetings from Costa Rica, folks. Live from my porch here in Guanacaste, just outside of the beautiful Playa Junquial. My name is Matt Rosensteel, and today we have a live real estate chat about homes on the market. In fact, today's chat is called More Homes on the Market because last week was chapter 1, in which we started off with some initial listings. Really, my goal more than anything is to both give you ideas for what is available, but also to host a lively discussion with questions from viewers like you, so that we can give any insight into what these listings actually mean in the market and what insight they can give you as a buyer or seller of Costa Rica real estate in general. If you're joining us live on YouTube, don't hesitate to submit your questions. We have Dimitri watching the comments there behind the camera. We may have some fun interruptions today. I literally have 2 dogs. Our chickens are out back. We're going to jump around the country a little bit today. Starting off with the Central Pacific, we're going to talk to David Karr from Jaco about some properties, what's on the market specifically down there, and what is exciting for him. We're also going to come up to Guanacaste. I have an incredible new exclusive listing that is a home for sale right here in Junquial. We'll do some Tamarindo properties, and we also have a Sámara property that we are super stoked about to share that's walking distance from downtown. It's one of those perfect looking ocean view houses that everybody emails me looking for constantly. I don't have them necessarily in my market, so I'm very glad to share a listing from Sámara. But without further ado, I want to just go ahead and bring in our Jaco expert, David Karr, owner broker of Coldwell Banker down there. How you doing, David?
Hi, Matt. How you doing? So I'm inside. I don't have the nice, setting like you do. So I kept it inside, but it works.
Well, absolutely. I'm lucky here that I moved to an area where we could still get a pretty large property that is set away from our neighbors. So I actually don't, I'm sitting on the front of my house and no one can ever build in perpetuity, at least on this side of the road. So I'm a pretty happy camper here on my porch.
And no dogs or chickens that you have to worry about, during the.
Yeah, but I was just saying, yeah, I do have. We might have some barking here. Definitely, my rooster might crow. I have 5 hens, 1 duck, and a rooster because I love those farm fresh eggs.
Nice.
Tell me about. So, I know a lot of people who dream of finding a beachfront home in Jaco. They see that there have been a lot of developments there, and it's one of the busiest tourism hubs in Costa Rica. Tell me about homes in Jaco in general and the inventory you can find there.
Yeah, so Jaco is a little bit different, right? Because we're fee simple titled beachfront, which is, as most people know, pretty rare in the country. People that buy here, the developers, they take advantage of that by going vertical. So single family homes that we do have here are kind of reserved for big vacation rental houses that do very well, but those are hard to come by. There's not a lot of those. And most of the direct beachfront, you're going to have towers, you're going to have condo vertical development. And we're continuing to see, I would say probably the biggest boom of new construction that we have seen currently we haven't seen that since probably the 2005, 2007 time period.
Okay. Now, if I want one of these absolutely huge mansions right on the water or those larger properties close to the beach in Jaco, what does a single family or, one of these larger sort of rental properties cost? Generally speaking.
Yeah, you're probably going to be in that 2 to 3 million range. Under 2 right now is getting hard to find. They're going to be pretty good rental producing properties, so they're going to kind of warrant some of those numbers. But outside of Jaco, when we get into some spots like Hermosa, You can get, you know, a couple beachfront communities where maybe the house won't be right on the sand, but you'll be in a community where walking distance to the beach there, you know, will be staggered back. And there's a couple of those there where you can find, you know, in the 800s where you're going to basically be a beachfront home.
It's surprisingly comparable to Tamarindo. Even there, you've got, for example, Punta San Francisco, a community where you've got easy beachfront access, but the non-beachfront homes in there recently have been closing right at about 800 for even your fairly, you know, a 3-4 bedroom, but a, you know, a solid home. If you want to get on the beachfront, then definitely 2 to 3 million is your starting point. Now in Punta San Francisco and Tamarindo, you're really up in the 4 and 5 and 10 range specifically.
Yeah, crazy.
Tell us about, so if there aren't necessarily homes, you had mentioned to me a pre-construction project that goes along this vein that you wanted to bring in, and I'll go ahead and pull up the pictures here. Tell me about what we're looking at.
Yeah, so basically, this is the newest project to come to the beach. It actually just announced its first round of pre-sales, so we don't even have all the renderings out yet. This is a very initial round that people have a chance to get into. This is going to be a 22-story project right on the ocean, amazing views, resort-like amenities, and we're pretty excited about it. I mean, in general, we're seeing a lot of pre-construction. We're seeing a lot of interest. People are buying it. People are lining up to buy pre-construction. Most of the projects are selling out. This one was just launched or released for sales this week. They're going to be starting at $221,000. That's going to get you a 1-bedroom condo. But there's 2-bedroom options in the high 2s, 3-bedroom options in the high 3s. And essentially in our market, as you probably know, Matt, we're catering to a lot of that, a lot of condo buyers, a lot of rental properties, a lot of people that want something a little bit more affordable. So that's kind of our bread and butter.
Yep. I was going to say, let's bring up the map here. Can you tell us exactly where on the beach this is going to be? Are we looking at the north half of Jaco?
That north end, so that cursor where it says Best Western, it's going to be actually, if you see where Claritas is, a little bit more to the, go up a little bit, or north, and a little bit more, and it's right after Bahia Encantada there, that long lot. It actually says Visit Jaco Costa Rica. That whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right there. Holy macaroni. Yeah, you're really...
I actually live right next to it. So I'm going to be doing construction for a bit. Yeah. So.
Holy cow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So, that can be unfortunate when major developers take an interest in the lot next door to you.
Yeah. So, but it's all right. I'm gonna make a bunch of sales and offset that by making a bunch of money. So it's all right.
I was gonna say, yeah, you need to bank on this, you know, sale and upgrade perhaps the soundproofing in your home, privacy screening, and some other things.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, so absolutely, you know, in Jaco, you're looking at a lot of this condo inventory. Do you find in Jaco itself, you know, how many blocks do you have to go away from the beach before you start seeing residential communities that have single family homes available?
You definitely need to go back a little bit, probably a few blocks. The reality is that we don't have a lot of single family home inventory specifically in Jaco. So if someone came to me and they said, hey, I don't want a condo, flat out, no, absolutely no condo, I want my own single family home, then the reality is I'm probably going to try to get them to go outside of Jaco, where you're going to have more of those options. So they're probably going to settle in Hermosa, Estorrillos, and that is going to be a complete opposite, where there will be no condos and everything will be a single family home.
Yeah, it's the same in our area. Funny enough, you've got those condo places and then towns where there wasn't a single condo until recent memory. Here is Hermosa. I love, something about that little vuelta in the road down there where you're driving through. Hermosa is just a place that strikes everyone as that memory, on a road trip from childhood down along the beach. Pure beauty
For
looking
sure.
out there. And then Esterios, a little further south. I know they have a ton of single family house inventory. These neighborhoods are basically just lined up with small lots and homes. Right now, what sorts of price points can you find if you want to get? Would Esterios also be one of those places where
Very
you want to
affordable.
go?
Yeah,
Okay,
very affordable. We've got some houses under contract right now, single family home, gated community, maybe a short walk to the beach, short drive, under 300,000. So
cool.
and there's still more of that inventory. So
Yeah,
we do have a lot of affordable options still. And I think sometimes with the stigma of Jaco, people think so much Jaco and vertical and busy, and no doubt it is. But the Central Pacific is more than Jaco. Like you said, Hermosa has that old school Costa Rican charm. Esterios is that rural type environment. So we do have more than just what you see in Jaco.
yeah. That's really the case where you are in Costa Rica, and it's always fun to get people out exploring those places just outside of the major hubs. We actually had a question from Kevin King. Thank you very much, Kevin. Asking David if he has any insight into the Oceano condos, or Ocean Oceano, however you
Oceano,
pronounce
yeah, Oceano.
it.
Oceano's great. Oceano's a little bit different. So they're a condo hotel, right? So they're really the only condo hotel that we have in the area, and they're more geared towards an investment vehicle, right? You're essentially buying a hotel suite. You don't need to rent that out. I mean, the nice thing is you could live in it full time if you wanted to, but it's really designed for someone that wants hands off management, right? That they can just use it a few weeks out of the year, and the rest of the time, someone's going to operate it as a hotel, essentially. So, and the margins are a little bit better because of the way that it's structured and managed. So it can get some better returns than the traditional vacation rental property.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. And to quickly touch on David's experience, he's been in Jaco for as long as anyone can remember, but also managing properties, helping investors pick out specific properties for ROI. And he's got both sides of the coin in terms of insight into the real estate market and the rental market and how you actually take those properties and make them profitable. So I always love having David's insight. Again, right now, one of the things that he's got going in Jaco will be these new condos, 22 stories. This project, meaning if you really like to get high in Costa Rica, this would be a great place to check out.
Literally, yeah. Both ways there it goes. So we're in
That's
Jaco.
gonna send my YouTube filters. I just got banned, from their kid-friendly search
Oh,
requirements.
gotcha.
But this is something that, frankly, I've talked many times about the fact that high-rise inventory is very scarce in Costa Rica. So if you're looking for it, Jaco could be the absolute top destination for you overall, because it's one of few places where people go vertical as often as they do. And aside from Flamingo in our area, you definitely don't see 22-story towers. So
No.
anyway, appreciate you joining, David Karr from Jaco.
Always good
Have a
catching
good
up,
one.
man. All right.
Absolutely. No, it's always a pleasure. Our next listings will be in Tamarindo here. We're going to talk about 2 rental income properties, because as rarely as I speak to this kind of property, everybody now is looking not only to move to Costa Rica, but to have that rental income potential. And right now, if you're looking in Playa Tamarindo, uh, the pickings can be slim. So I've got a couple properties that, specifically, one of my top picks right now in the Playa Tamarindo area, and really this is in Playa Langosta, is one of my colleague Christina's listing. Christina, absolutely love working with her, and in fact, we were at this property. It may have been yesterday, I believe, looking at it. And there are a few things that really set this kind of investment property apart from others that you currently see on the market. First of all, we're talking 10 apartments, which just by sheer volume puts you in the larger available hotels in the Tamarindo area. Then the fact that you have 10 apartments and you're only looking at $1.1 million, yes, that is where the market currently, uh, for a minimum price to invest in something that has this much rental potential, 1.1 is about the minimum you're going to find as an investor. I had the clients who were looking at this specifically yesterday were even, really dredging through what is available in Tamarindo and Langosta, and they weren't able to find a ton of listings anywhere near that million mark. You've got Brad Schmidt's beautiful hotel, Casa Leona, that's under contract above 3 million. You had seen a lot of other smaller hotels close around $1 million or slightly under it. But those all generally sold in 2021, 2, and 3. And now it can be tough to find this kind of listing. Another thing that I absolutely love about this particular property is its location in Langosta. So let's come over to our handy dandy map again. We'll bring up Playa Langosta, and you're going to see that everything in Playa Langosta community is close to the water. There isn't a business, condo, or building that isn't a short walking distance out to the beach itself. Langosta has much higher level surf than Tamarindo itself. Tamarindo's a learner's wave, and Langosta's got some rocks and some real waves. But Langosta is essentially this little appendix onto Tamarindo where you don't have to deal with the absolutely horrific noise. You're not going to deal with those party crowds because essentially it's a higher end residential extension onto Tamarindo. And this business is located right smack dab. We're looking here. I'm sorry, that's the Surf Club restaurant. You're a few lots up the road, and it is either this one or this one. I'm sorry. Yeah, these are the neighbors. Here is the property itself. And anyhow, you can see you are right in the middle of a community where there simply isn't room for people to build much more. You're basically buying very prime real estate in this in Langosta, which will always be a prime little spot. Your next door neighbor there is the Diria Group. They own a big piece of land. That piece of land could define the future of this particular business, but depending on where things go next door, I still just see incredible value in a place that is only $1.1 million, 10 workable apartments, and a place where you could remodel your own home and have a heck of a lot of rooms to make your living, as a live-in and manage kind of situation. It's a very comfortable feeling property where on a second story you could easily isolate one of the 2-bedroom apartments, give yourself your own space, and then have guests downstairs. And like I said, if you're looking to do that dream of moving here and generating income, That is the kind of property that's at the top of my list currently as a value in Playa Langosta. Next, I wanted to do another listing from Christina, also in Tamarindo. This is representative of your party mansion in Tamarindo with a huge, view. This is located up in the hills, so it's not right downtown, but at 8 bedrooms and $1.6 million. Honestly, this is not the kind of place you would want to both live and rent out. This is pure rental investment, sort of party palace kind of property. They have $170,000 in gross income, or they had in 2023. So they were close to $500 per night for the full year. And what you see with houses like these that have a really unique design, it's fun. It feels like something from the real world back in the MTV days where people have a great vacation feeling like celebrities. These properties build on themselves in terms of rental income with time. Pretty soon you've got the same groups booking the same weeks every year. You can start to be a little bit more aggressive with your rates, but over time you just really get things running well. You cut down your costs, boost your overall gross income, and in Tamarindo you're not going to find a single sort of party mansion at or under $1.6 million that's also 8 bedrooms and brings along the view. As a comparable example, in Senderos next door, yes, they have awesome, really beautiful ocean view homes. The absolute top of their hill is costing, in the 5 and 6 million range. Homes that would be more along this, sort of level of construction would be a few $100,000 more. They were originally selling, you could get 3 and 4 and 5 bedrooms in Senderos around $1.5 million. Those price points are no longer available, and especially if you were looking at an 8-bedroom home, I'd be hard pressed to find many others in Tamarindo right now that wouldn't also cost $2.5–3 million, depending on the location. So anyhow, Christina, thanks so much for sharing your awesome listings. Those are both rental income properties in Tamarindo. Absolutely great. She's tuning in the chat as well. If you want to get in touch with Christina, don't hesitate to email me at matt@costaricamatt.com. Sorry, Christina, I do want a referral on that, but hopefully we can help her sell those properties and get her an even nicer truck in 2024, because the 2023 truck was pretty darn nice. Anyhow, love you very much, Christina. Let's go on here outside of Tamarindo. What were we going to talk about next? Yes. We wanted to talk about a Sámara property because frequently it's tough for me to understand what is on the market there. And this is actually going to be something fairly comparable to what you're looking at, what we were discussing sort of down in the Jaco area. We are going to go to an ocean view palace here, or at least looking at the pool here. So here we've got an extremely attractive location. I have actually heard many people who want to live within walking distance of Sámara. And one of the few things I do know about this real estate market down there is that getting close to downtown Sámara is difficult and expensive because the inventory isn't infinite. Again, in these Guanacaste towns, you saw such hiccups in development in 2009. You've never really seen tract housing and spec homes built at large scales. So Guanacaste is a place where, to get close to these awesome beach communities like Sámara, yes, it is going to cost you close to $1 million. Here you can see from the drone shot just how close it is down into town and to the beach. View looks absolutely spectacular, and you can tell you're looking at something that, yeah, absolutely. The features, floor tile, finishes, clearly a house that was built within the last couple years. And let's see what kind of property we're looking at. 3,000 square meters in total. So you do have a pretty big lot. You'd see in areas like Tamarindo, Playa Langosta, Playa Grande, it could be very difficult to get above that sort of 1,000 square meter size. So definitely 3 is exactly right in my book. I would guess that my wife and I use a total of only 2,000 square meters of our full property for the garden areas around our house that are the tamed, really sort of manicured stuff that you're looking at behind me. I wanted to mention, if you are interested in moving to Costa Rica, do be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm at, I think, 380 Costa Rica videos, not only about real estate, houses, condos, etc., but every aspect of moving to and living here, from taxes to relocation, etc. Finally, I want to touch on an awesome exclusive listing that I am announcing right here in Playa Junquial. It is hot off the presses here. A lot of people really love Tierra Pacifica, the gated community that I have on my channel pretty often. And you may have recently seen Casa Marianti, a 2-bedroom that was only on the market for about 3 months before selling. And today I'm happy to announce that we have Casa Verde, which is actually a 3-bedroom, a home that has more style and charm in the first story than some homes have throughout. Really, this is a place that a wonderful artistic creative couple have owned since it was built. As a reminder, here's a look at those Tierra Pacific amenities. This is a 10-minute walk away from Casa Verde itself. The wonderful pool. They have a tennis court, gym, yoga salon, hiking trails, all kinds of cool stuff there. And Casa Verde, one of the really amazing things that they did is absolutely bring together indoor, outdoor living. And when I say that, when you step into the living room here, you've actually just opened the front door in this picture. And it feels like stepping into a kind of combination cozy country home and forest patio. You're surrounded by perfect landscaping. They've planted dozens of fruit trees. They've got all kinds of beautiful flowering plants out in the garden. And all of this is screened in. You're living in absolutely fresh air, just like Costa Rica Matt does here on his front porch. I mean, it's really like living among the outside conditions. I believe me, you feel better if you breathe fresh air 24/7, 365. Everything's set up so that essentially, you can, when you leave town, you can lock the kitchen. You can also lock the bedrooms and access to the second level. They designed everything as just this, like I said, really comfortable country home. It feels sort of like Mediterranean, Spanish colonial, and also French Canadians, French people have also felt incredibly charmed by the property just because really it's oozing color and art from every corner. Oozing is a bad word. I should say celebrating art in every corner. But here you see the second patio on the first level. You've got that main living space. This is the front door. And then upstairs you have 2 really big guest suites available, or rather 2 guest bedrooms, a full bath and a half bath on the second level. That listing is in Tierra Pacifica on over an acre of property. They're asking $449,000. And as you've seen Casa Marianti on my channel, that was a 2-bedroom listed at $430,000. You've seen really good momentum for these Tierra Pacifica homes here in Playa Junquillal, selling in the mid 400 price point. Before I go, I wanted to offer one more time, if somebody out there has a question, comment, concern, if you want to quickly post a listing that you would like me to look at in an impromptu fashion, I'm more than happy to do that. Do so. However, we're at 12:37, and frankly, folks, between the porch, the light, the fact that I haven't taken a sip of my electrolyte water for a while, I think it's about time to wrap it up once again. I do, as always, want to dedicate this show and all future shows to both those loyal subscribers and the people who actually reach out to me to buy real estate or to sell real estate here in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Again, if you are interested in investing, the whole reason that I'm doing this is so that you will call me and eventually I can put my expert guidance to work, helping you make the best purchase or sale of your lifetime. Really appreciate everyone joining me today, and we'll see you next Friday live at noon, as always.